Klabera,
Jeff,
hey,
how's it going?
it's going great. One of my favorite humans here. I'm very excited to talk to you today. Um, just getting back from Austin. How's summer been?
It's been great. I wish I was still in Austin. As we all know, I love it there. Perfect place to be for the fitness and honestly like creator space too. So bummed I'm back in Michigan, but I plan to go back to Austin.
And by the way, if anybody wants any to get hyped up about Austin,
Come talk to me. I'll tell you everything. I'll try to,
Klabera's the person.
yeah, I'll recruit anybody I can to come to Austin with us.
Yeah, I'm partially thinking about relocating now because of how much you like it.
Every call, I start it that way.
But Claire, I'm excited to tell your story because you crush it here with Playbook in so many capacities, but you come from a family of immigrants. You I don't know if you mind me saying this. You didn't go to college, and you're like a total killer in business. All of the above. So why don't we start off with the early beginnings and what and how we got here?
Yeah, no, I love that you started it with that. I think it is such like a staple part of who I am in my journey and like the way I communicate every single day. My background is Albanian. I was born in Albania. My family immigrated to the US when I was 3. There was a civil war in Albania at the time, so they came to the US, claimed asylum, all of that good stuff. And then fast forward a little bit, my parents both super hard workers, both like working in restaurants, working factory jobs, doing the whole thing, both working 2 jobs, both very like self-made, I guess, like American dream when they came here. Biggest respect for both of them. And then at some point in my life, when I was 11, I got put into figure skating. My parents split at the time, and my mom's like surprise for me was to take me to the ice rink. And I think a combination of both of my parents just being such hard workers, plus me being put in like a very elite sport, kind of led me to where I am today, in terms of how I interact in business, in terms of how I critically think, in terms of content creation and my everyday morals, I guess you could say. Um, I'll stop there if you have a question, and then I'll keep going if you want.
No, that was great. I mean, no, keep going. That was great.
Yeah, so once I got put in ice skating when I was 11 in the world of figure skating, usually people start like really, really early on in skating, so like 3, 4 years old. So I actually started like late to the game in figure skating. My mom, being the very driven woman that she is, didn't want me to go through like the learn to skate program, which is like the group skating that you go through to make sure you pass all the tests. She automatically took me to the director and was like, my daughter is late, like she needs to be better, so like can you take her for private lessons? And the director, who's actually my figure skating coach growing up, was like, only if you come in every single day at 6 a.m. Like, I have no time for this. Like, she can't skate. Like, she doesn't know how to do this. So my mom was like, yeah, no problem. She'll be here 6 o'clock. She'll be here right after school too. Like, we got this. So very, very grateful that she did that. So I obviously had to play catch up in the ice skating world because you have a series of tests and competitions that you have to do. And like, I'm not joking when I say that the girls that were my age at the time were like fully competitive, and I was learning literally the basics of ice skating. So lots of hard work on that front. My mom helped me big time. I had an awesome support system in her on that side. And at 18, I had passed all the tests I needed. I had been competitive to an extent. And then I kind of hit that fork in the road of like, what's the next step after high school? Um, that I didn't really come from a culture where it was like, you need to go to college. Like, you, of course, like that's one way to succeed and one step to succeed. But my mom was very good about being very open to what I wanted and like what I viewed as success, or like where I wanted to kind of lay the foundation for my life. Skating was such a big role. So I was like, I don't want to stop doing this, but like, I also can't not make money right now because I'm 18 and I'm a full blown adult. So we decided to go the path of professional figure skating. So in ice skating, there's a elite, like competitive side of skating, and then there is a performing side of skating that you would call professional, right? Um, I had put together a demo. I had put together like my best of my best skating tricks, and then had sent that out to multiple producers. And at the time, I had gotten a contract for a show in Germany. So I ended up leaving at 18. I worked in an amusement park. There was like a small little ice show that you did three times a day every single day of the week. The contract was 8 months. I did it twice, so I stayed there for about 2 years, from 18 to 20, and got like a lot of experience under my belt in the ice skating world, which was really cool. And I was skating for a living, making money. I was in a new country, so I got exposed to a lot of different cultures, which was really awesome for me. And then in addition to that, there's another world of figure skating that's like a top tier of professional figure skating, and that's
Can we park? Can I ask a couple questions
yes,
about
yeah. I'll
your
stop. I could go on forever on this.
perfect? Give me 1 second.
The new setup.
Testing. Okay, so you are in the States and you go through this figure skating career, and then you're like have to make money, and you start sending out tapes all over the world.
Yep,
Um, and then you get a job in Germany at 18 years old.
yep.
Um, I would say that's really cool, and a lot of 18-year-olds be like, that's an amazing opportunity, but at the same time, a lot of them be like, holy shit, that's a big thing. And that probably, those type of moments probably say a lot about your character and your DNA, but was that a scary moment? Was that you're just super excited? An amusement park in Germany sounds very
Yeah.
like you could take that a couple of different directions.
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, it was very exciting, but it was very, very hard in the beginning. Like I was at 18, like do you actually know anything? Like you're still so young. So while it was super exciting, I had a very hard time in the beginning. One of the biggest things was that it was a very big culture shock. I was working in Germany, but the artists within the amusement park were from everywhere. Like we're talking like Estonia, we're talking Latvia. Like I was probably one of two Americans of the entire like artists and performers inside of that park. And then everybody coming in was obviously either German or from anywhere else in Europe because they were visiting. So there was a very big culture shock, but I'm so happy that I got to experience that because I got to learn so much from different people. I was also the youngest one. Like everybody in my cast, you have a cast of like 10 or 12 people. I believe we had 12. I think it was like me that I was 18 and everybody else was 30 plus in the cast. So it was like I had to grow up. I had to not act like a kid. Like I had to really like find my bearings. I had to take public transportation for the first time because in the US, at least in suburbia, you drive everywhere. Like we don't really, like where I'm from right now, we didn't really use public transportation. So it was a big culture shock, but great learning experience. The second year I wasn't as nervous as the first year.
And what pulled you over there? Was it like, hey, I'm going to go to Germany, get some experience? Was the money good? I mean, was it the only place that offered an opportunity? So you're just like, I'm going to go to the other side of the world. Like, what
Yeah.
was it?
It was the first opportunity that I had. So I was like, this is it. This is what's in front of me. I got to take it. And like again, it was a different country I had never been to at the time, so I was like, I guess this is what we're doing now. We're going to go live in Germany for a few months. So well, 2 years. It ended up being 2 years, but yeah, it was the first opportunity I had, and then after that I enjoyed it, so I wanted to stay another time. Another thing that kind of trickles back to when I had to play catch up in ice skating. I also had to use that time in Germany to help. Like I didn't stop working on my skating skills. Like I didn't like take a contract and then that's it. Like I've done everything. Like now I'm just going to go perform and I'm not going to keep getting better. I actually had the opportunity while I was there to keep improving like tricks and elements within skating to help me get to the next path in my professional figure skating career, which we can get into. Because when I had started even my professional skating career, I wasn't at the caliber of skating that I needed to be for my next contracts. So I had to keep working.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. So then keep going. So then you're building up your skills as a figure skater. You learn so many life lessons from,
Hmm.
I think, competitive sports like that. Like it's hard to really explain, but
For sure.
the structure, the commitment, the drive, it's the evaluation of self, and their critique of self. Like that's not easy, especially when it's one on one. Really, there's not a team that you can kind of say like I'm part of the system that
Yeah.
creates a great outcome or doesn't create a great outcome. It's all eyes on you. So I'm sure that yeah, that just teaches you so much, and then yeah, you keep going with that, and where figure skating took you.
Yeah. And then there's an element too when you're put into these positions when you kind of fall into like the comparison trap game too, when you're either an elite sport or in like you're an artist of any sort. You're consistently on a stage, you're consistently in dressing rooms with other people. Like there is a a element, especially when you're so young at 18, 19, 20, 21, where like you're looking around and you're comparing yourself to everyone, especially at that point. So there was a lot of like mental hurdles that I had to overcome while I was there too. But one of them being I had a goal to work on cruise ships. So on cruise ships, Royal Caribbean is the only cruise line that has ice skating shows, and you like skate on this 40 by 60 piece of ice, and you're performing however many times a week for the cruise passengers, right? And in order to get a contract on a cruise ship, you do have to be you have to have a certain caliber of skating. Like they're very, very picky with who gets on those types of contracts. And at 18, I got like no's from them probably like 4 or 5 times. Like I was not there yet. But that was my goal when I was in Germany. Like I need to get good enough to get on a cruise ship. So that happened after I was there for 2 years. I turned 20. I got my first cruise ship contract. I ended up working on cruise ships for 5 years. I stayed on, like, I think I came home for like 2 weeks at a time max. So I like lived at sea literally everywhere in the world, which was really cool. But the fun and like really awesome part of working on cruise ships is you're not just performing, you actually have a ton of other responsibilities on the ship. So you're like, you are dealing with the guests, you are running these open skating sessions, you are running spotlights for the other shows. You have like safety duties as well. Like if there was an emergency on a ship, which there's usually not, obviously, you have an actual job that you have to do in case something goes wrong. So I learned a lot from like 20 to 25 on ships, and just how even like customer service and guest interaction works, and just how you even present to someone when you're speaking. Like you don't point to someone, you use an open hand. So I got to learn like a lot of really cool life lessons and like workforce lessons while I was on the ship.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that one. With
It was a crazy, crazy world. But super fun. I got to meet a lot of people again. Like most people were not from North America on the ship as well. There's literally people from every single country on the ship. So again, very exposed to lots of cultures, very exposed to lots of people that had really awesome stories and really great life lessons as well, which was very cool. And then that set the precedence for my next thing in skating, which actually will kind of come full circle into like where content creation comes into play. Um, but yeah,
so you're at that point, you're very much like, I'm gonna probably be in skating professionally for the rest of my life.
yeah, I'm like, what am I doing next? Like, where do I go from here? But at that point, I was like, one contract, then the other, then the other. And then I like, it's not that I hadn't really thought about my future, but I was like, this is what's working for me right now. Like, I want to achieve these few goals in skating. So I needed to, I needed to at some point think about what was next, but I was just going contract to contract at that time.
Got it. And keep going. So cruise ships, and then what happens?
Yeah. And then I had the experience to work on a TV show, which is called Dancing on Ice. And it's like the equivalent to Dancing with the Stars here. You teach a celebrity how to ice skate. And this was over in the Netherlands at the time. So I got that very random, very cool contract, gave me exposure to like TV production and gave me exposure to like that whole world, which is very different than like theater and like putting together like a stage performance. Um, did that in the Netherlands. I actually ended up winning that TV show, but during that time, I had started. Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild time in my life.
Uh-huh.
Um, During that time, this was like 2019. Yeah, 2019. I had like started dabbling and just like posting a little bit on social on my Klabera Instagram, but it was very like we call it like selfish versus unselfish content. It was very just like, hey, look at what I'm doing. Like, look how cool this is. So like there was no strategy. It was just a highlight reel of what I was doing on the TV show at the time. Um, so I had done that. Then COVID hit, obviously put a stop to everything skating. I was home for a bit. I was like teaching some skating classes, some fitness classes, all of that stuff. In the meantime, while I was on cruise ships, I got like my certifications for personal training, for group fitness training, functional strength, just because again, I wanted to like have something on the back burner. And it plays such a big role into sport, obviously. And then COVID hit. It was 2020. I was like, I have no idea what's happening at this point. But I started posting just a little bit. But again, just no strategy. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing on social media, nor did I really have like I don't want to say patience or like the drive to like look into it at that time. However, fast forward to the end of 2020, the Dancing on Ice TV show was then in the UK. They were still going to have something go live because they could make TV happen during COVID times. So I got that contract and I went over to the UK and did the Dancing on Ice TV show there. And that is where like social really, really like ramped up and started, because that was a very big production and the UK takes their reality TV show very, very seriously. So I got a lot of exposure there, which was really cool. But again, it wasn't like strategy. It was more of like that, I say selfish very lightly, but like selfish type content of just like, hey, look at how cool this is and like these costumes and go vote for me and my partner and blah, blah, blah. So that was super fun. And I came back in 2020. From there, I took a year off of any kind of like professional skating because I was a little bit burnt out at that time. So really like zoned in on the fitness side of things. And at that time, we're talking 2021, I started posting a little bit more on social. Again,
How many
no,
followers did you have at that time?
probably like 5,000 followers. And like that was the height of like my cringiness on social. I felt so cringy. And I actually talk about this with creators all the time. Like I would post things, I would post my skating videos, I would post my favorite supplements, I would post like any like small like partnerships I would get with like use my code for a discount. And I remember it was like an ongoing battle with myself on like how cringy I felt doing it, because I was also getting comments from people in my inner circle at that time that was just like, oh, like you're doing the influencer thing, right? Like that's kind of cool. Where it just makes you feel weird. Like you're like that person knows me in real life. They're like kind of making fun, like it's like lighthearted, but I don't like the way it makes me feel. So it was like a very, very big battle with myself. I kept trucking through, but like very big battle. um
Wow.
yeah, that was wild. And I can get into like the social media growth after that, but that's how I got to like actually starting a platform. It all stemmed from the TV show in the UK.
Got it. And then you're on a TV show, and then you're trying to like reconcile. Do I build a brand? You're kind of going back and forth, which I feel like is so many people.
Totally.
Um, they want to do it, but when they start doing it, they're like, "Ee."
It's
And
so
then
cringy.
my friends and family are the only people who follow me right now, and so who am I? I'm just posting to them, and I feel so awkward posting in front of them. So you broke through that mentally, or you gradually did. And then I guess was that a gradual process? And then what happened? And then keep going.
Yeah. It was a gradual process. It never really, until I actually saw my big growth, did I ever actually like get over it. Like it was a constant every single time. I'm like, that's really cringy. Like I don't like the way that feels. Like I was like my own worst critic. Because I wasn't really seeing any growth. Like I was kind of sitting at the 5,000 mark. Maybe like someone I knew from a few years ago was reaching out, being like, hey, do you have any programs? Like that's kind of cool. But it wasn't anything at that time. It wasn't anything big in my mind. I was like, nothing's happening, but okay. So then fast forward to 2022, I went back to the TV show. I did that TV show in the UK twice. I went back to the TV show, and right before I had actually left for the UK, I had one video blow up, like absolutely go bananas. I was doing a like very cool ice skating trick. It's called a hydro blade. You can look it up. You get really close to the ice. And it like, I just remember like refreshing and refreshing and refreshing. And it was like the first video I had that hit like 3 million views. The comments went crazy. It was getting shared like crazy. And I think I went from like 5,000 followers to like 30,000 followers in the matter of like a week, if not less than that. And it was like wild. And every video I would post after that would just go bananas. And it was all just like ice skating tricks, like literally just ice skating tricks. And I was like, oh, like this is happening. Like this is happening right now. And people are really interested in this one thing. And then I went to the TV show, which obviously also heightened it. And I grabbed a little bit more of a following. But what's really interesting about that method of posting I was doing at that time, I'm going to like keep going back to like, I wasn't providing any value. I was just posting very self-centered content. And I mean that in like the best way possible. I was posting content that was just like, hey, I'm an ice skater. I do really cool things. Like, here it is. Go look at this video, right? So when I was in the UK for the second time, my now husband actually reached out to me and was like, hey, I follow this creator. He's using this platform Playbook. Like you're growing on social, you should probably try to monetize. And I'm like, that's a very good idea, sir. Why don't I do that? So I actually got on Playbook as a creator, and I like launched an ab program, which like now looking back at it, like that was not the right thing, but it's fine because I'm like my following that loves ice skating doesn't really give a crap about an ab program, right? So I launched an ad program. It was not good. And then I launched subscription. And this is before I started working for Playbook on the back end. This is just as a creator. And again, like I'm fully transparent in the sense of like I had no subscribers. Like I had nothing and I pushed it in my stories all the time. And I'm like, damn, like I don't get it. Like I don't understand why I don't have anybody in this damn app. And then I hit a breaking point when I started working for Playbook, actually. And I hit a breaking point of like, oh, I don't create any content of value. I don't have a target customer. Like, I don't provide anything for my audience. Of course, nobody trusts me. Like, that makes perfect sense. And I did an entire revamp of my strategy on my ice skater account. This before we even get to the other one. Like, I did an entire revamp where like my entire strategy was for adult skaters. I stopped posting the content that was just like, hey, look at how cool I am. And I started posting very valuable content for a specific person. It was an adult skater that has picked up skating in their adult life, or they were a retired professional figure skater and they still kind of do it now. And I'm your girl for all things off ice training for skating. Like, I'm very good at this. I've gotten the results. I have the credibility. I've been a professional figure skater for 10 years. I have this awesome offer for you. And then I've built a really amazing like adult figure skating community from just changing my tactic like that. It was crazy.
That was a great
Yeah.
insight. I didn't even know that. And that's a great reflection and that's a great reflection. And then you adjusted and you learned and what I guess was part of that, you you're just being you have a lot of awareness, you're seeing what's not working. Do you start looking around a little bit and seeing, hey, is there anyone else who might be monetizing this content? And did anything like that happen? Did you learn from that?
Yeah, it's exactly what we talk about all day long. Like, you never stop being a student. Like, I didn't know everything. I still can get better now. I still need to consistently refine my own skills so I can teach it to others. It was that exact same thing of at when I first started on social, I was just like, I didn't do any market research. I didn't look at anything that was happening. I was just like, hey, I look really cool in this video. I'm going to post it. When I changed my thought process and I was like, you know what do people actually struggle with? What are other people in this industry doing who have a product out there? That's when I started seeing results. That's when I started building an actual community, even on my social. Like, the comments changed, the messages changed. It was no longer like, hey, that's cool. It was like, hey, do you have a program for this thing? Or hey, I'm really struggling with this element. What did you do to like get there? The entire conversation changed when I changed with being very targeted in what I'm posting. It was really cool.
Love that.
Yeah.
And I have to go back to your significant other. Did he recommend Playbook to you before you guys were dating or after you guys were dating?
No, but while we were dating, we were dating. Yeah,
God,
yeah. He sent me an
I
entire
like,
email. Like, he was like, "Hey, by the way, so and so uses Playbook. You should probably look into this. It's a really cool platform. You can put your videos on it and you can do X, Y." Like, he did the whole research process and sent it to me in an email. And I remember being like so busy on the TV show at that time where I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, like I'll look at it when I get home." And he was just like, "No, you should like really, really look at this." And then when I finally like sat down and looked at like he again, it's like I still have the email. We talk about it all the time. It's like a full email breaking down like what Playbook is and why I should go use Playbook.
that I would say that email has drastically impacted your life.
It changed my life. Like,
Um,
literally, Playbook on many levels has changed my life. It's very, very awesome.
it all started with an email. I love that. I mean, that's
It's true. We talk like sometimes we reflect together, and he's just like, "Hey, remember when I sent you that email? Like, look at where we are now."
yeah, he's got some points for that for sure. He's like, don't forget I sent the email.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
we reflect quite often on just like, you know, how lucky we are to be in the positions we are, and like just where we've come over time, and like we have this conversation very frequently where he's just like, ah, it all started with me. Like,
I love that.
yeah.
That is how life works though. It's an email, it's a message to somebody. It's that's That's wild.
Yeah.
And you guys will hear more. Klabera is very involved in Playbook, to say the least. Um, so that was a great insight. And then so then you adjust your account, start monetizing, start building your community. You're learning a lot from feedback, and then you start working at Playbook too. And I guess let's talk for a second about that experience because as working at Playbook and working with a lot of creators, you see the really interesting insights where you're working with a lot of different creators and you get to see what's working, what's not working. You get a lot of just really cool signal that we have internally because you get access to so many data points. So you start working with Playbook, working with creators. I guess did anything? It doesn't have to be, but is there anything in there that starts changing? You start seeing differently there, starts changing your mind and then let's go in parallel with your journey as a creator and with your journey in Playbook, and then let's stop before we get to like the second account that you started.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what was very cool when I switched my messaging on my skater account, I almost like rewired my brain into, we can call it this if we want to, like from influencer to creator, where again, a creator, the way that I see it is really like really caters to their audience and really serves their audience. We've talked about this multiple times. What was very cool when I started working at Playbook, when we started this coaching on Playbook, we first had like account management and then we started coaching, was that I could take the theories and like the curriculum and everything that we were building, and I was testing it on myself, even on my skater account, so that I could speak really, really true to it with my creators as well. And then I had this awesome collaborative and like big conversation with creators on what's working for them and then what I've tested. And then it turned into a really cool feedback loop, even from like back then before I even started the second account. That like being a creator and working with account like our like a creator accounts really, really turned into like this cohesive feedback loop, which was very cool. I learned a lot and I'm continuously learning, obviously.
Yes, yeah, that is one of the amazing aspects about coaching is being able to apply it, also see what others doing. And then one of the really cool stories that you did, and you kind of went out on your own and did it, is so Klabera works with all of our coaches, manages all of our coaches. She coaches herself. She's with a lot of the top creators. And then we've developed a process and a protocol internally that we teach to other people. And then Klabera, you're like, hey, I'm gonna put this all to the test, and I'm gonna start a brand new account in a brand new vertical. So let's break that down in its finest. It's like so. What was your running? Like, so you started a new account. What was your level of running experience? What was your thought process of starting that account? What was your thought process starting in that content category? And then let's talk about kind of like the results that manifested.
Totally. This is my favorite conversation because we talk in coaching all the time about building in public, which is probably it's one of my favorite phrases, to be completely honest. And like how social media really needs to be an extension of your life. What was happening was that I was stepping, as I started to hop into like Playbook, as I started to get this full-time job, I was also working as a creator. I was stepping out of one season of life and stepping into a different season of life, which was amazing. That ice skating page that I had at the time wasn't as easy to maintain, slash it wasn't really an extension of my current life. It's like an extension of a past life and like a different version of the life I have right now. So in tandem with that, parallel to that, I'm also like, okay, we have this really awesome social media curriculum. I'm teaching it to people day in and day out. Can we just make sure that I even know what I'm talking about? I need to test it, and I need to test it on myself because that's going to be the best person to test this on. Can I back up what I'm saying? Can I actually grow a community from scratch? This was my one of my biggest goals over the past year. I was like, do I know what the heck I'm talking about on social media? And then can I find, to your point, a new vertical that fits seamlessly with this current season of life that I'm in? And the current season of life that I am in is a life where running has actually turned into a big priority in my life. It was very hard for me to transition from ice skating to like just the gym. I'm like, I need a goal. Like I need to work on something. Like I don't personally aspire all the time for aesthetic goals. I need a performance goal to like tie myself to. So that's where running came into play. We had a few friends that were running. We signed up for our first half marathon, signed up for our next marathon, and then it kind of trickled from there. So I was like, okay, like maybe I start a new account and it's a running account because like I do that every day. It would be really easy to keep up with the content creation behind that. And then at the same time, I'm going to test every single thing I know in terms of how to build a community on social media. Um, Best decision I've ever made in my life, by the way, starting that new account. I started it in May of 2024, so now it's like a little over a year, and started it from scratch. I did not promote it on my other account because I was like, I'm going to test that I know how to start an account from zero. Nobody knows me. Like this is a blank slate. I'm gonna make this happen. Um, Started it. I posted like 3 to 4 times every single day, probably for like the first 3 to 4 months because I needed to build a feed. I had my accounts that I used as inspo accounts too, and then I started just chipping away at it day in and day out. I showed up. I actually don't think I've missed a day of posting on that account. I show up on that account every single day. Now I have a community of over, I think I'm at 118K at the time of this recording. I've launched a few one-time purchases, which we could talk about, because again, I also wanted to test that, we sell a coaching product that, hey, we're going to coach you on how to grow a community, also what to put inside of your offer, and then we package it into a nice 6-month coaching package. So I'm like, could I make the return on investment that we charge for coaching? Like that was the goal, that was the challenge I gave myself, and I did make that investment back, which was super cool to see because again, it also gives me that confidence to speak to content creation and building a business with our creators. It allows me to speak very confidently to it because I've personally done it and I work with our coaches day in and day out on it.
Yeah, I love that story. And the coolest parts about it are your brand new to your content strategy too is not something, because the bedrock of posting content is like I just don't know what to post about, and I'm not that strong. I don't have an area of expertise. And I think a really important point to highlight is you're brand new to running.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I'm not a pro runner. That's like also a very big contrast from being a pro figure skater to like I'm just a girl who is starting to run marathons. Like come join me. It's very relatable. So I'm also documenting that journey as I improve and as I level up in my performance goals. I'm taking my audience with me 110%. Yeah.
What was like the furthest you ever ran before that?
I think when I was like, I think right before I left for professional skating, I think I'd done a 10K, so 6 miles. And now I have run a few marathons.
So for everybody, one of the key themes that we talk about is called the foundation of you, which is who you are, how you invest in yourself, the how you continue to invest in yourself has a huge impact on your success. And the most fundamental moral of the story here is you are you have no running experience. You're brand new to running, and you're just like, hey, I'm going to put myself into a brand new vertical and learn it and document it. And that alone to me is like incredibly valuable social media, personal brand building experience where it's just like you have to pick a path and you have to pick a
Yep.
goal. And if you just gun down that and then you document yourself on that journey, you can change your life in a year. I mean, like if you were to start, you did have social media experience and you did have an account, but really, you had your ice skiing account, but really, you really genuinely started from scratch in a brand new area that you knew nothing about, and then you within a year changed your life in the fact that you built a huge community. You were able to make a lot of money off that community. You step into brand partnerships. Like you really in theory, you launched a trajectory of you perpetually building your personal
100%.
brand. Um, so it's an amazing
Yeah.
story.
And I'm building, which is what any creator should really aspire to too. I'm building a community that's going to grow with me in every season of life. They're here at this step while I'm setting goals for myself and while I'm accomplishing things or not accomplishing things. I share the struggles every single day, and they're going to come with me as I keep expanding, which is really what we should all be aiming to do. Like obviously, first and foremost, we want to make a digital business, but we should also be wanting to grow a community because that core group of people is going to be very loyal to us long term, especially as we expand and as technology expands. We want a really strong and solid community behind us. It's the bedrock of being able to have an online business.
And one of the other things that Klabera won't say, what I'll say about you is like, I work with you. So Klabera works. Claire works a lot. I work a lot, and then I message people on Slack, and I can see who how responsive people are. And you work a lot, so you're you're you, like you're working with a lot of creators, and then you're doing a lot of management stuff, and you're still making this work too. So I think that's you could probably add a soundbite on that of like, hey, I still get it done, and I have a lot of other responsibilities because you very much are busy.
Yeah, I think I actually that's a great point. I think that creators can come in, and one of the hardest things when you're starting content creation is figuring out your time management. And I talk about this very often with creators as well. We're all busy. Everyone's got different has different levels of busy and different tasks in their day-to-day life. If you want to make it happen, you'll make it happen. You need to find your system. And I think that, speaking for myself, I work a full-time job. I have a spouse. I don't have kids yet, so obviously that's another extra layer of busyness. Um, I'm also managing two platforms as well as managing a team here, and I figured out a system that works for me where I can do all of these things. And I show up every day. I show up every day here at Playbook with our internal team. I show up every day for my running community. Because at the end of the day, too, what's very, very important for me, and this is something I've been reflecting a lot over the past week as well, is that we are actually, of course, we're helping creators build businesses and make money. But on top of that, we're also helping creators make an impact. Like, I make an impact on my running community every single day. People message me every single day, hey, like, you shared this one thing and like it's really stuck with me. And like I'm teaching somebody else in coaching right now to do that. And then they're gonna go make an impact with their community. And that is like, not to sound cheesy, that's like one of the most beautiful things we could possibly do. We are actually making impact and changing lives through social media. Like social media is the best business tool, but also the best community tool of all time right now. We're all on it. We should all be using it for good.
I love that. It is amazing that you get to work and make money, and it's like it perfectly correlated to impact and results of other people. It's arguably one of the coolest jobs there
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. This is being at Playbook as a creator and in the position that I sit internally is one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And then just kind of tying it back to the beginning of this conversation, like I did not go to college. Like I absolutely did not. But I've learned so much through experience in my life. And I think that I view my life and my learnings like I feel like a sponge. I want to learn as much as possible. I want to learn from as many people as possible. And I think, to be completely honest, it's why it's gotten me to where I sit today as head of creator coaching and as a creator and building my community. And I think that, yeah, I'm very, very fortunate and love where I've gone so far.
You're a very rare mix of I think there's the immigrant part where there's a deep level of appreciation and an incredibly hardworking and positive attitude. And then that's coupled with being highly observant. And then there's probably some aspect of the being put in sports early, and enduring and reflecting where it makes a really interesting mix that created Klabera. And no, and I don't say this to make her feel good. You're super talented. You're going to go super far in business because you have those raw skills that are like impossible to teach. And you probably know that about yourself, but yeah. Um,
Can you hear me?
all right, we're back again. Sorry, we had a little glitch there. We dropped off, but you were saying that yeah, it is Clara was saying, we had a little technical glitch there, that it is very when you're working with a creator, like everything in life, they just get better and better, and if
Mhm.
they want to, and when a creator gets better and better, that means they actually have the more subscribers they have essentially means the more their message is connecting, essentially means the more lives they're changing. And it's incredibly fulfilling and interesting to see that happen.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it really is. The success you have in business has a direct correlation to the impact you're making with people too, in this industry that we're in.
Yeah. I would say for any creator like building a personal brand, it's got to be a remarkably good feeling to adapt. Figure it takes everyone time to build their message and find their footing. But then when you do, and you start building that community and realize you're changing people, I can't imagine much feels better than that.
Yeah, it's I mean, and it goes on both fronts. Like I get the messages on my runner account, obviously, of just people reaching out with wins or with questions or just, hey, like you've really inspired me. Like this happens. Like when you start growing a community, this happens, and it is one of the best feelings ever. And then there's the flip side to that on being internal at Playbook too. I get these same things from creators. Like, hey, I got this message from somebody. This was really cool. And like again, that allows myself and also the coaches, I know I can speak for them as well on this front, where when they get these messages from creators, they also know that they've done a good job and they're leading people down the right path. It's a very cool trickle effect for sure.
It's awesome. So with a little bit of time we've left, let's say I'm a new creator. What would be what would be your words of wisdom? What do you think are the most important things?
Oof, this is such a good one. First, start filming yourself now so you have the before. So you're not scrambling to find that footage like that. Start filming yourself doing everything right now, regardless of if you post it at this exact moment. Build that content database to help you share your story. Second,
Let me stop you there one. So what does that mean to you? Like what it tactically, what like like okay, that's great advice, Klabera, but like what am I doing? Am I taking a tripod around me and
you're gonna you're
tell
gonna
me
you're
what's like
gonna
tactically I'm doing? Yeah.
you're gonna put that phone at least 2 to 3 times a day. You're going to put it out and just film yourself making coffee. Film yourself getting ready to lift your barbell. I don't care what you're doing. Film yourself doing it. Have shots of you present day, because in 2 years you can use these clips as like your storytelling clips for social. That is probably like the biggest thing. As I talk to creators, everyone's like, I don't have the videos, I don't have the photos, like I wish I did. Even if it's not a physical transformation, because we have transformations on many fronts. Even if it's a lifestyle transformation, if it's a performance goal that you have that you're trying to achieve, you want this before footage. So again, film yourself doing anything. It could literally be tying your running shoes. Start filming it so you have this giant bank of content. Um,
So then the mindset there is for a creator, you don't have to post that content. Like that's like where you can
I'll
like where you might be stuck up is like you just film everything,
totally
and take the total anxiety off you that you're just databasing it so you have it when you are ready to post.
110%. And then the second layer to that is film yourself and watch yourself speak, because that is like one of the cringiest things that you can do is watch your own self speak. So getting comfortable, and I say this on the group calls all the time, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable watching yourself. And I think that this ties a little bit into like my skating background too, because that's like the thing I always did. I would do an element, I'd film it, I'd watch it back. Like, and I would hate watching it back because I could see every little mistake I was making. But it's so important to do this exercise for everything in life. Because the more you do it, the more comfortable you're going to be with yourself, and you're going to build that confidence. Because one day you will say, hey, like that didn't sound as bad actually. Like maybe I would send that to someone, or like maybe I would put that on my story. And then you're going to start building this muscle of talking on camera, which, as we know, is one of the staple pillars that you need to be a content creator and build trust. So film yourself talking, talk about anything, watch it back, watch your filler words to make sure we're not doing all the ums, just watch it back, be cringy with yourself. And then once you start posting, not every single post is going to do well, and everybody needs to acknowledge that. Like even the biggest of the biggest, you're going to have different traction on different posts. That shouldn't discourage you from keeping the momentum going. Keep showing up. That's like what every successful creator has in common. They show up every single day. Show up every single day. It will happen, because that consistency will compound. There is no other route if you're staying consistent. And obviously we put the bells and the trinkets in on like our strategy. That's like the layer on top. but the base of that is you're going to show up every single day. There, no questions.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and then, one of the other ones, just an extension of that, is if you take away Klabera's message and all this is, especially if you just isolate that moment with the running account, is if you can change your life in a year, where we've seen it time and time again, where a creator is like, I look like this, and I'm going to double down on what I look like, or a performance goal, or whatever it is. I'm going to have some sort of transformation. I'm going to go all in on myself, and I'm going to document that journey. And that is like a bedrock social media strategy. It's like you don't necessarily even have to post. You could spend an entire year just making yourself as good as possible, as fit as possible, as knowledgeable as possible in nutrition, and then document yourself, keep it all quiet, not publish any of the content. And over a course of a year, you have this treasure trove of content. You've changed yourself entirely, and you're ready to present this person to the world. And we see that so many times.
100%. It really is like, to simply put it, like you actually are the product. Like there's no other way to put it than you are the product. So start acting like the product or start building the product. That's what we have to do for sure. And then everything else comes.
It's great. So Claire's a favorite. If you guys happen to be in coaching, she does the group coaching calls. She's amazing. Yeah, the amazing part about Klabera and all of our coaches is that they are creators themselves. They test everything we teach themselves, and they work with so many people, very famous creators to people creators getting started or brand new, and they have so many data points that we're really able to bring just so much value and knowledge to new creators because we're testing it ourselves on ourselves, and then we're seeing it across being implemented across other folks and learning from that as well. So it's really amazing. The group of coaches that Klabera helps manage and everything they're doing and the lives they're changing.
Yeah, it's actually our team of coaches is extremely collaborative. That is one of our biggest strengths, I think, is that, to your point, we're all creators, we're all testing it, and then we're actually all sharing it with each other to help the other help their creators. So it's a very, very collaborative coaching environment, which I think is kind of rare to find. And I think that we do that really well. We share our insights quite often, and we test our insights quite often.
All thanks to you. Um, so Klabera, is awesome having you today. We're definitely going to do this again. But thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thanks, Jeff. I will see you soon.
See ya. See you on Slack.
Yeah.
Bye.